An intimate video that never should have seen the light of day. A sister who, with a simple lip procedure, turned her insecurities into a multi-million-dollar empire. A woman who completely altered her image and redefined the beauty standard for an entire generation. A mother accused of turning scandal into a multi-million-dollar strategy.
When I first heard about Kim's tape, as her mother, I wanted to her. But as her manager, I knew that I had a job to do.
Paris Hilton's assistant who became one of the most influential women on the planet. A relationship with one of the most unstable figures in the world that exploded publicly because of his bipolar disorder. A woman who went from magazine covers for adults to negotiating legal reforms inside the Oval Office at the White House. A celebrity who made us believe we were consuming her life by accident, while she was selling us even the air she breathed in every post. But while the whole world was criticizing her, she was building something much bigger. An empire, a brand, a level of influence that very few have ever reached. Was all of this just luck? Or is it the work of a mastermind behind a $4 billion empire that people still don't fully understand? This is Behind the Icon. And this is the story of Kim Kardashian, the woman we love to hate but can't stop talking about. Is Kim Kardashian really a marketing genius? Or is she simply the most expensive product in modern television? Because her success is not based on her last name or on scandal. What took Kim Kardashian to the top was not her family, but her ability to turn every mistake into a seven-figure check. That is how she managed to manipulate the industry completely. Behind the surgeries, the luxury, and the flashes, there is a Kim Kardashian very few people know. A ruthless negotiator who never makes a move without the internet knowing first. That is the pure truth behind her rise. Kim Kardashian's real talent is not acting in front of a camera. It is having hacked the algorithm of fame before social media even existed. But this story did not begin with fame. Before the millions, before the scandals, and before becoming one of the most recognized women in the world, Kim Kardashian was invisible. For years, her place was behind someone else, Paris Hilton. Kim was not the main character. She was not the star. She was not the center. She was the one organizing Paris's closet, the one tagging along, the one watching. While others were shining, she was learning how the cameras worked, how the public reacted, and how a media figure was built. Because even in that secondary role, she was already understanding the game. And very soon, she was going to play it better than anyone else. And then it happened. What many point to as the true beginning of the Kardashian empire. An intimate video, private. A video that was never meant, at least in theory, to be public. And suddenly, it was everywhere. The scandal was immediate. The headlines, inevitable. The exposure, total. What the world saw was a downfall, but what many began to suspect was something else. The timing, the context, the exact moment that video appeared, right when the family was about to launch their reality show, right when they needed attention, right when they were still nobody. And that is where a key figure enters the story. Kris Jenner, the mother of the family, and for many, the true architect of the system. Kris understood something before anyone else. Fame is not accidental. It is built. When the cameras arrived, she did not avoid them. She organized them. She produced the reality show, negotiated contracts, controlled every narrative. But the turning point was that video. What the public saw was a scandal. What many began to suspect was a strategy.
You don't mess with my family, and you definitely don't mess with my business.
For years, rumors circulated, never officially confirmed, claiming that the video was not simply leaked, that there were agreements, that there were decisions, that there was something more than coincidence. According to those rumors, there may have been a prior agreement with Kim's boyfriend at the time. People talked about a confidential contract, about money, about legal waivers from her boyfriend in case the video leaked. And clearly, about a release that would not have been accidental. None of this was ever definitively proven. There was never any official confirmation. But there is one thing that is undeniable. The moment that video came to light was not just any moment. It happened right when the reality show was about to premiere. It happened when the family needed a major burst of attention, and it happened in a way that turned Kim Kardashian into a name impossible to ignore. That video did not destroy Kim Kardashian. It did the exact opposite. It launched her. And that moment changed absolutely everything, because in the Kardashian world, even the most intimate things can be turned into capital. But before we continue, there are 3 moments that explain better than anything who Kim Kardashian really is. 1. The day she showed X-rays on television to prove that her butt was real. Intimacy turned into spectacle and into a public defense. 2. The moment she forgot her daughter at a restaurant. She walks out, paparazzi everywhere, chaos. Then goes back inside seconds later, only to come out again, this time holding her daughter in her arms. An absurd scene, but completely real. 3. The way she cries, exaggerated expressions, viral tears, endless memes. Pain turned into content, because in Kim Kardashian's world, even the most ridiculous moments can become a brand. And what came next was not improvisation. It was construction, reality show, controlled narrative, constant exposure. Nothing was left to chance. Every conflict had a camera. Every emotion had editing. Every scandal had framing. And at the center of it all was Kris Jenner, organizing, negotiating, directing. But Kim understood something even deeper. Fame is not enough. You have to sustain it, multiply it, turn it into something bigger. And that is exactly what she did. And before we continue, let's revisit 3 moments when Kim Kardashian made it clear that she had no limits. 1. Her televised wedding. Even though it ended after 72 days, it was a global event, turned into pure content. 2. Her appearances at the Met Gala. Extreme looks, uncomfortable, impossible to ignore. She was not trying to be liked. She was trying to create impact. 3. Her famous phrase, "Get up and work." A statement that triggered immediate backlash and put her right back at the center of controversy. Because Kim Kardashian understood something that few people accept. It does not matter whether people talk well or badly about you. The only thing that matters is being at the center of the narrative. And then Kim stopped being just famous. She became influence. Kanye West entered the picture, and with him, everything changed. Elite fashion, legendary designers, global events. Kim stopped following trends and started creating them. Covers, magazines, recognition. She was no longer just another celebrity. She was a cultural phenomenon. But Kim did not stop there. She went further. Businesses, her own brands, products selling out within minutes. And then, something unexpected. Politics, meetings, interventions, real cases, using her visibility to influence. And that is when perception changed completely. She is no longer just a media figure. She is a figure of power. A figure capable of moving conversations, setting agendas, and influencing millions of people. But no system is perfect, and no exposure comes for free. At one point, her relationship with Kanye became unstable, public, unpredictable. The chaos started to leak through. The image began to crack. Because when everything becomes content, there is no refuge, no pause, and no privacy. And in the end, the cost is always paid. And there was also a moment when all that control, that perfect construction, that system that seemed to have no cracks, broke again. Not because of a scandal, not because of a strategy, not because of a calculated decision, but because of something that could not be edited, could not be controlled, and could not be turned into marketing. Bruce Jenner, Kris's husband and the father of Kendall and Kylie, was for decades the perfect symbol of American masculinity. Olympic champion in Montreal 1976, national hero, cereal box cover, an icon of effort, discipline, and victory. But behind that image, there was a silent struggle. Years later, Bruce would reveal something he had kept secret for decades. He confessed that many nights, while everyone was asleep, he would wake up in the middle of the night, go into Kris's closet, take her clothes, and dress as a woman in silence. It was not a game. It was not a provocation. It was a necessity. He said that more than once, one of his daughters saw him, that they exchanged uncomfortable looks, and then chose to remain silent. The silence lasted for years, until when Bruce finally began to speak about his anguish, when he started putting words to what he felt, those moments came back to the surface. According to his account, something revealing happened. When he spoke about those nights, his daughters looked at each other and said, one by one, "I saw it." It was not a surprise. It was a confirmation. The separation from Kris Jenner was not just the end of a marriage. It was the collapse of a structure that could no longer hold. In 2015, Bruce announced his transition and introduced himself to the world as Kylie Jenner. The impact was immediate. The clan was exposed. And of course, the cameras were there once again. For some, it was an act of courage. For others, a betrayal of the image he once represented. For the family, an irreversible breaking point. Caitlyn's transition did not just break from Bruce's past. It shattered the perfect narrative of the Kardashian clan. For the first time, there was something that could not be fully controlled. Something that did not fit into marketing, or into the script, or into the aesthetic. The reality show revealed real cracks, real pain, distance, uncomfortable silences. Nothing was ever the same again. Because when an identity suppressed for decades finally comes to light, no empire can contain the impact. Kim Kardashian is many things: a scandal, a strategy, a brand. But above all, she is the perfect result of a system where attention is more valuable than talent, where image outweighs truth, and where exposure is synonymous with power. The question is no longer how she got so high. The real question is, why did the world put her there? Because in reality, Kim Kardashian is not an isolated case. She is the most visible result of something much bigger, of a family that understood the 21st century before anyone else. A family where a mother turned scandal into strategy, where one daughter turned her insecurities into millions, where another tried to escape the system, but never fully could, and where even the deepest cracks ended up exposed to the world. They did not play the fame game. They redesigned it. They turned attention into business, intimacy into content, and exposure into power. And at the center of that entire system was always her, Kim Kardashian. This was behind the icon, and this was the story of Kim Kardashian, a story shaped by fame, control, and a way of understanding power that changed the rules of the game forever. Because even after everything we have seen, the question remains, are we looking at a marketing genius or at the most perfect product of the modern media system? If you are interested in these kinds of stories, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments what story you would like us to cover in the next episode. Which figure, which story, or which case you would like us to explore in depth.